even if you have the best firewall that's going to censor anything that might be deemed remotely inappropriate, kids are still walking around, many of them, with devices that have access to the internet in their pockets or in their backpack. So the fact that you're going to have this conversation about what is and is not considered appropriate content at a particular age group or a way to behave online, like that's part of digital citizenship 101 that you need to be having. So it's good to have those conversations. You don't necessarily have to expose them to it in a class if you're working with younger kids, but at least talking about, okay, how do you respond to this kind of content it's kind of necessary nowadays. Like back in the day, like when I was in school, I didn't have a cell phone until high school. So until that point, I didn't have access to the internet unless I was on a computer in class. But walking in the halls nowadays, kids can just pull out their phone.
I can't do anything to prevent a child from encountering extreme propaganda online. But what I can do, hopefully, is have them be primed to critically think about that stuff when they interact with it and know either one, how to kind of box that up in their minds and do something about it, or two, put it in context of the rest of the discourse of communities that we've been talking about in class. But if they are in a space where we've never had a conversation, they've never seen me kind of walk someone through what it's like to encounter whatever online and what to do about it and how to think about it, then I'm putting all the power in the hands of people who are trying to harm students. I think that's kind of what's ending up being the reality of online engagement nowadays, is that you kind of have to be ready to eject yourself at any given moment from a situation, from an online community or a forum thread or whatever you're engaging in, because it can get out of hand. It can get out of hand immediately.
Yeah, I've spoken with some IT people and some administrators who have this fear of technology or a tool because it might allow them to do something that is inappropriate. So some people have said, well, I don't want kids engaging in Scratch because of the online community aspect. I don't know who they're going to talk to, even though it's like policed by the Scratch community. Or I don't want kids engaging with the offline version of Scratch because they might be able to take those characters and make them do stuff that's not appropriate. And my response to that is always like, okay, so are we going to remove pencils from the classroom as well because they might write a curse word or might draw something inappropriate? It's not the tool itself that we need to get rid of. It's how we engage with it in the space that we need to talk about. At least that's just kind of my opinion.
Yeah, I feel the same way. I do think that tools have a lot to say to us about how we can approach the world and each other.